Hey there. Ever stop and think about why you grabbed a coffee instead of tea this morning? Or why you're about to binge a show instead of picking up that book? It might feel random, but it's not. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the hidden economic logic that's secretly driving every single choice you make. I mean, seriously, think about it. Your whole day, from the moment you wake up, is just one long chain of decisions. But here's the thing. They aren't just coin flips. There's a powerful, surprisingly predictable system running in the background, one that economics has been trying to map out forever. And it all kicks off with one fundamental conflict.
And here it is, the big one. On one side, you've got our wants, which are, let's be honest, basically infinite. We could always use a newer phone, a faster car, another vacation, right? But on the other side, you have our resources, our time, our money, which are always limited. And that clash, right there, is the central puzzle that all of economics is trying to solve.
Okay, so let's tackle the first part of this puzzle, our wants. When we say we want something, what are we actually trying to get? Well, in economics, it all boils down to one single, really powerful idea. And that idea is called utility. It sounds fancy, but it's really just a word for the satisfaction, the happiness, the sheer usefulness you get from something. When you choose coffee over tea, your brain is doing this lightning-fast subconscious calculation of which one is going to give you more utility in that moment. But, and this is a huge but, that satisfaction level doesn't stay the same. All right, let's make this real with a simple example. Tea. Take a look at this table. It shows what happens as you drink more and more cups in a single day. The second column, total utility, is your overall happiness. You can see it goes up for a bit. But now look at that third column, marginal utility. That's the extra bit of happiness you get from each new cup. See how that number starts dropping right from the very beginning? And this is where it gets really interesting. By the time you force down that 11th cup of tea, look at that. The marginal utility is -4. You're not just getting zero extra satisfaction. That cup is actively making you feel worse. Your stomach hurts, you're jittery, you're getting negative utility. And you know what? This feeling is so universal, it's actually a law in economics. It's called the law of diminishing marginal utility. And you know this instinctively. That first slice of pizza on a Friday night? Amazing. The second? Still pretty great. But the 8th slice? Yeah, not so much. This one's simple law explains why we don't just spend all our money on one thing. We naturally crave variety because we're trying to keep that marginal utility high across a bunch of different things. So we're all chasing satisfaction. And we know that the thrill of more eventually fades. But there's another huge piece of this puzzle. You know that amazing feeling you get when you score a really, really good deal? Well, you guessed it, economics has a name for that feeling too. It's called consumer surplus, and the best way to think about it is as your psychological profit. It's that little win you feel. If you were totally parched and would have happily paid, say, $10 for a bottle of water, but the store only charged you $1, that $9 difference? That's your consumer surplus. It's the secret value you got from the deal. And believe it or not, we can actually measure this. Let's say some commodity X costs $20 no matter how many you buy. Okay, for that first one, its value to you, its marginal utility is 30. You paid 20, so your surplus is 10. Sweet. For the second one, it's worth 28 to you, so your surplus is 8. You keep on buying until you get to the sixth one, where the value to you is exactly what you paid. So your total surplus for the day? You just add it up, 10 plus 8 plus 6 and so on, for a grand total of 30. And hey, this isn't some brand new idea. The famous economist Alfred Marshall laid this out more than 100 years ago, and it's a huge deal. Businesses think about this when they set prices, and governments think about it when they consider taxes. It's a core measure of the benefit we all get from just being part of a market economy. Okay, so up to now, we've kind of been talking about utility like you can put a number on it, right? Like 30 points of happiness. But that feels a little weird, doesn't it? Well, modern economics has a way more elegant way to think about our preferences. So instead of trying to measure our satisfaction with exact numbers, that's called cardinal utility. Most economists now prefer to just rank our preferences. This is called ordinal utility. You might not know exactly how many units happier pizza makes you than a burger, but you for sure know that you'd rather have the pizza. And this simple shift from measuring to ranking opens up a really cool visual tool. And that tool is the indifference curve. Just picture it. You're choosing between two things you like, maybe food and clothes. This curve shows all the different combos of food and clothes that would make you equally happy. a ton of food and a few clothes, or a few clothes and a ton of food. You're literally indifferent about any point on this curve. It's basically a map of your desires.
But, of course, that map of your desires has to face a reality check: your wallet. And that's where the budget line comes in. This is a simple, straight line that shows every combination of those two goods that you can actually afford with your income. Anything above that line is, for now at least, just a dream.
Now, these desire maps have a few simple rules they have to follow. They always slope down because, well, to get more of one thing, you have to give up a little of the other to stay equally happy. They're bowed inward, which is really just a fancy way of showing that diminishing marginal utility we talked about. And they can never, ever cross, because that would mean you're both happier and equally happy at the same time, which just doesn't make sense. So let's recap. We have a map of what you want, your indifference curves, and we have a map of what you can afford, your budget line. Now for the grand finale, let's put them together and see how the magic of decision-making really happens.
So the big question is, where do these two maps line up to give you the absolute most happiness you can get for your money? You've got lots of affordable options all along your budget line, but only one of them, only one, is the absolute best possible choice.
And the answer is right there, at the exact point where the two lines touch. Your perfect choice, what economists call consumer equilibrium, is that one single spot where your budget line just gently kisses the highest, most satisfying indifference curve it can possibly reach. Any other point you can afford is on a lower curve, meaning less happiness. This is the sweet spot.
So here's the key takeaway. At that one perfect spot, the rate at which you are psychologically willing to trade one thing for another, that's the slope of your desire map, is perfectly equal to the rate at which the market lets you trade them, the slope of your budget line. It's that beautiful moment where your personal desires click perfectly into place with your financial reality.
Now, I know this can all seem a little abstract with curves and lines, but this framework is so incredibly powerful. You can think of it as the hidden operating system that's running in the background behind every single purchase you ever make.
What we've really done today is trace the logical journey your brain takes. It all starts with a simple want. Then it recognizes that more isn't always better. It calculates the hidden value of a good deal. And then, using this incredible internal map, it finds the one best combination to max out your happiness, all within the limits of your budget. So the next time you're standing in a store or browsing online, stuck between two choices, just remember all this. You're not just being indecisive. Your brain is solving an incredibly complex optimization problem in the blink of an eye. The only real question left is, now that you know the secret logic, will you ever look at your choices the same way again?